Hi guys, I'm Andy Scott, trainer coach, and today I just want to talk to you a little bit about something that I call psychological cheating. Now, don't worry, psychological cheating isn't when you fancy sleeping with a girl behind the cheese counter at Tesco's. Nothing to do with that. Psychological cheating is when, as salespeople, as influencers, we use the basic psychology of the human animal to get it to move forward in directions we want it to move in. The reality is that we are very simple creatures and we tend to run very simple programs. And the brain hasn't had any major leaps forward in over 50,000 years. It was the Paleolithic period, the last time our brains actually grew and adapted to our environments in any real way. So yes, while technology has completely changed, the human brain is largely as it was to start off with. So psychological cheating, I suppose we should call them psychological tips. And a little bit of my frustration with sales managers and even some sales trainers is that not enough of them take the time to understand the psychology of selling, the psychology of the human animal and how it all fits together. And if you do take the time to do that, you'll realise that sometimes the simplest little things can have really big differences to your world. So I just want to cover one of these very quickly today, which is something that's called primacy and recency. And it's a very simple psychological tool. And I've used this very simple tool to get huge growth in a few businesses that I've been involved with. I used this to get one call centre I was involved with a 74% increase in the first 5 months and a 300% increase over 18 months. Another call centre, changed the stats, we moved it from a 62% sit rate to an 82% sit rate. Just by literally using some base psychology like this very, very well. So, primacy and recency, how does it work? In its simplest terms, the primacy is that they will tend to remember the first thing that you say to them in your interaction. So if you're on the telephone, and it's mainly sort of prevalent to the telephone type environment, but if I ring you up and I say, you know, hi, it's just Andy from the ABC group, they'll remember that I'm some annoying guy trying to get their time from a telecoms, utilities, payments, business, whatever I am. They'll remember that bit. Typically the next 30% of a call, they're not really concentrating on what I'm telling them because they just want me to go away. Because the average small business gets 30 to 50 cold calls a month, and the last thing that they want to do is speak to one. Even if every one of those calls could help them, they haven't got the time to speak to them all. So how are you going to stand out? Things like this can help you. So that's the primacy, the first thing that you say. The recency is they tend to remember the last thing that you say just before you put that phone down. So you need to make that great. That's why a strong consolidation is so important. And then if you want to make that consolidation psychologically stronger again, you need to add elements into it. And I'll just give you a couple of quick examples. So in a lot of the consolidations that I write for people, I will have them do things like humanize the person that's coming out. If you're booking your appointment yourself, you have already done that. You've built rapport. They like you, otherwise they wouldn't be saying come and see me. But if I'm booking for somebody else and you say, okay, so Sean's going to come and see you next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. You'll really like Sean. He's a really nice guy. He's been in the industry for years, helped a lot of businesses like yourself. So we humanise the BDM. We lower the booker's remorse. We want that appointment to sit. So we want it to feel comfortable in their mind. So it's now not a complete stranger coming. We can also say things like, and when Sean gets there, use Sean's name a few times if you can. Can he park in the car park there, or would he have to park somewhere else? Now in reality, I don't really care if they can park in the car park. But by asking that question, they have to visualise Sean turning up and parking in their car park. That's another link in the brain. That's another little piece of the cog that makes that appointment a little bit stronger. And then if I get them to write something down before I go, you know, so I might say something like, so listen, I'm going to send you an email with all this information on, but just in case it gets stuck in your spam filter, have you got a pen handy just to take my number in case anything changes? If I can get them to write something down before I go, that appointment is 18% more liable to sit. 18%. Just for these marginal little changes. Now some people might be doing some of this stuff but don't know why it works. Some people won't be doing it because they don't know why it works. So if you want to find out a little bit more about this, then feel free to contact me. My email address is info@andyscotttrainingsolutions.com, and other videos obviously on YouTube, feel free to check some of those out, and if you've got any opinions on those, I'd love to hear them. But for now, Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.